Ever found yourself anxious about the thought of going on a date? Well, you're not alone. The fear of dating is a common experience that most people grapple with at some point in their lives. It's as universal as the feeling of butterflies fluttering in your stomach when you see someone you're attracted to. This fear can stem from a variety of reasons. Perhaps you're terrified of rejection. The thought of putting yourself out there only to be turned down can be daunting. Or maybe you're afraid of getting hurt. Opening up to someone and becoming emotionally vulnerable can be scary. For others, the fear of not being good enough, of not living up to someone else's expectations, can be paralyzing. These feelings are all perfectly normal. They're part of the human experience, part of what makes us, well, us. It's okay to feel this way, but understanding why we feel this way is the first step towards overcoming these fears. So why do we fear dating? Let's dive into the psychology behind dating fears. Often, our fears around dating are deeply rooted in past experiences or insecurities. Think about it. If you've been hurt before, it's natural to worry about going through the same pain again. This fear of being hurt is associated with previous traumatic experiences. Your brain, in its quest to protect you, may be hitting the panic button at the thought of dating, recalling the hurt and disappointment from the past. Then we have the fear of rejection, a universal human experience that's often linked to low self-esteem. When we put ourselves out there in the dating world, the chance of being turned down can seem overwhelming. This fear can be magnified if you're someone who struggles with self-confidence. You might start to question your worthiness and whether you're deserving of love. And let's not forget societal pressures and expectations. We live in a world that often idealizes romantic relationships, and being single can sometimes be seen as a sign of failure. This societal narrative can add an extra layer of anxiety, making dating feel like a high-stakes game where you're expected to find the perfect partner. Finally, we have the fear of not being good enough, which can be a product of perfectionism or high personal standards. If you're someone who constantly strives for the best in every aspect of life, dating can feel like you're under a microscope, with every flaw or perceived failure magnified. This fear can lead to self-sabotage, where you might push potential partners away to avoid the perceived judgment. However, it's important to remember that these fears are just that, fears. They're thoughts and feelings, not facts. And while they can feel incredibly real and overwhelming, they don't have to define or control your dating life. Understanding the psychology behind our fears can help us to challenge and overcome them. It's about recognizing these fears, acknowledging them, and then working through them. Whether that's with self-care, therapy, or a supportive network of friends and family. Remember, dating should be an enjoyable journey, not a terrifying ordeal. And you are more than capable of navigating the dating world with grace and courage. Now that we understand why we fear dating, how can we face these fears? Firstly, it's crucial to practice self-love and acceptance. Recognize that everyone has fears and insecurities, and it's perfectly okay to have them too. Embrace who you are, and remember you are deserving of love and happiness. If your fears are overwhelming, don't hesitate to seek professional help. Therapists and counselors can provide you with tools and strategies to manage your fears effectively. Start taking small steps towards dating again. Maybe that's setting up an online dating profile or simply saying yes to a coffee date. It's okay to take your time. Patience and self-compassion are key in this process. Don't rush or pressure yourself into anything. Remember, it's a journey, not a race. Remember, it's okay to be afraid, but don't let your fear stop you from experiencing the joy of connection. So, take a deep breath, gather your courage, and step into the world of dating. You might just find that it's not as scary as you thought.